Crucial point here about financial security. The deck states YHauz package includes structural warranty and structural insurance.
This is absolutely critical for the owner self-assembly aspect to actually work in the real world.
Right? Because if I walk into a traditional bank and say, hey, I'm going to build this massive steel house myself using a crane I just got in the mail, the bank is going to laugh me out of the building. They'll say, absolutely not. You have no idea what you're doing.
They absolutely would. Banks despise unpredictable risk. They want a licensed, bonded, certified contractor attached to the loan. But if YHauz, the massive manufacturer, steps in and says, we officially back the skeleton, the steel frame engineering is under our corporate warranty and our master insurance policy that completely de-risks the project for the lender.
So even if I completely screw up installing the hanging partition or I paint the exterior a terrible color, the actual building isn't going to collapse.
Right. The core integrity of the financial asset is guaranteed by the manufacturer, even if the final assembly is done by an amateur owner. That financial bridge is what makes this entire wild concept financeable by a normal mortgage company. It turns what looks like a crazy DIY project into a safe and insurable asset.
And we touched briefly on VLM, very low maintenance before, but it is specifically listed in this section as a core economic benefit for the buyer.
Ideally, this VLM drastically increases the long-term resale value of the property. A house that literally cannot rot with integrated systems you can easily access and continuously upgrade shouldn't depreciate the way a normal wooden house does. It should theoretically hold its value much more like a heavy piece of industrial equipment or a high-end luxury vehicle.
So what does this all mean in the grand scheme? Why are these founders pitching this specific idea right now? That brings us to part 4, the macro vision.
This is where the pitch deck really zooms out. It stops being just about selling individual houses and starts talking about global U.S. competitiveness.
That is a massive leap to make. Going from here is a free crane to build your living room to we are saving the American economy.
Is it really that big of a leap, though? The source makes a very specific argument. It says that global competitiveness is a consequence of millions of individual choices.
Connect those dots for us. How does my house affect the nation?
Okay, think about the macroeconomy. If you have a national population that is drowning in mortgage debt, living in decaying houses that are constantly falling apart, totally dependent on a fragile, aging power grid, and completely unable to fix anything themselves, that is a very fragile society. That is a national workforce that is financially stressed, constantly distracted, and highly vulnerable to external shocks.
That's a vulnerable society.
Right. Now imagine the alternative. Imagine a society where millions of families are sovereign. They literally have zero energy bills. They have the knowledge and the tools to repair their own homes instantly. They grow a portion of their own food. They have the physical infrastructure, the crane, to build and create value on their own land.
That population is incredibly resilient.
And highly productive. The source explicitly mentions this framing. It says these lifestyle choices are not based on ideology or religion, but health and productivity.
That is a really interesting distinction to make in a pitch deck. They are intentionally stripping all the politics out of it.
Yes, they are, because let's be honest, often the concept of living off-grid gets heavily coded in our culture.
True. It's usually seen as a retreat from normal society. Either you're framed as a left-wing environmentalist trying to leave zero footprint, or a right-wing survivalist preparing for the collapse of the grid.
Exactly. It comes with a lot of baggage. YHauz is actively saying, forget all the political labels. This is strictly about physics and basic economics. It is simply healthier and vastly more productive for a human being to be in total control of their immediate environment.
If you aren't constantly worried about the municipal power going out during a storm or the roof leaking and causing $10,000 in water damage, you can focus your mental energy on your work, your innovation, your family.
Exactly. A nation comprised of millions of sovereign, independent households creates an incredibly stable base for the entire economy. It represents a decentralized strength rather than relying on a top-down centralized strength. It's essentially building the national economy from the household unit up.
It's that quote again, a new infrastructure stack for next-generation social and technology society.
That is the core thesis. They view the individual house as the fundamental basic unit of the social stack. If you fundamentally upgrade the hardware of the house, you upgrade the operating system of the entire society.
It is incredibly ambitious.
It is, but for a high-level investor pitch, it is a very compelling narrative. You aren't just asking them to invest in a company that bends steel beams, you are asking them to invest in the future resilience of the American workforce. You are investing in national stability.
So let's wrap this up. We have covered a massive amount of ground today. We've looked at the no factory component construction, the absolute wild card of the free crane, the stylish exposed nano infrastructure, and the overarching philosophy of the sovereign household.
It really is a lot more than just a place to sleep at night.
It is. It is a literal machine for living.
A machine you operate and upgrade yourself.
So here is the final question I want to leave you, the listener, with today. We talked heavily about the crane. We talked about the strict off-grid power requirements.
The total autonomy.
The autonomy, yes. If you personally had that, if you had a house that came delivered with a crane and you generated 100% of your own power and you owed absolutely nothing to the municipal utility company, how would that fundamentally change your day-to-day anxiety levels?
How would it change what you actually decide to do with your life? If your baseline cost of living plummeted near zero and your physical security skyrocketed, what kind of professional or personal risks would you be willing to take?
In a modern world where we are forced to rely on so many massive, fragile systems that we don't understand and simply cannot control, is the ultimate luxury actually just the ability to fix your own plumbing?
Or the ability to wake up on a Saturday morning and build a brand new room onto your house just because you have the physical tools and the power to do it?
The sovereign household. It is a truly fascinating concept to unpack. Thanks for diving into this with us today.
It was an absolute pleasure.
We will catch you on a next deep dive. Stay curious out there.